Hello and welcome to Just Do It, a Dewey Brothers podcast. This is the start of a whole new season. We're cracking open a cold one right now. Let's see if I can get it on mic.
Ooh, that was crisp. That was crisp.
Yep, that's it. We're starting a new season. I'm Alex.
I'm Eric.
Yeah, we're having a great time. Unfortunately, we have some bad news to share with you. Right after we share some good news, which is that Weatherman is joining us. Jonah, get on here and give the people your lovely voice.
Oh, hello, majestic people. I have arrived.
I love that. Nothing to pick me up like the weatherman's soft, supple tones as he tells me the forecast.
I can do that. It's currently raining.
That's it's not raining outside for me, so I think we might have to fire him, Alex.
Yeah, we might not have to. Yeah, so for everyone at home, here's what we cooked up for season 7. We had an unfortunate departure from the podcast, which Eric will tell you about shortly, and then barring that, we used that departure as a scapegoat to clean up our act and start a legitimate news corporation. We're bringing you the best and most best news.
Alex, that's right. It's my honor to say that we are officially the Just Do It News Network, JDINN or JDIN, if you will. And the main catalyst for this new change is actually something that's it's a little sad because unfortunately executive producer Bilo got a new job. He's been hunting for new jobs. Apparently, he didn't really enjoy our presence as much as we enjoyed his. And he has bigger and better new things coming. So I'd just like to let all of our listeners know that Bilo, the executive producer, is officially now the executive producer in heaven, working right under Hamster God. So hopefully he likes it there.
Some people say that he took over for Hamster Jesus, but I think it's a co-role.
Mm-hmm. Yes, of course. So best of wishes to him in his new endeavor. I've heard that Hamster Heaven has really good retention rates. They almost never leave once they're there, you know?
Yeah, you don't really hear much about hamster ghosts. It's not something that comes up. They're pretty good up there in Hamster Heaven. Another thing, Eric, I think we should just take a little bit of time out of our busy schedules to really say the things we're grateful about with our time with Bilo here at Just Do It Industries. I'm really grateful for all the accessory to white collar crime. He was, all those times we were able to embezzle that money through his quick hamster wit. I mean, those were good days.
That's true. The man knew how much a dollar really costs, and he could stretch that thing as far as you could see, easily 10 billion Schmeckel Badudas worth.
He knew how to shovel nuts into your cheeks like nobody else.
So, Weatherman, do you have any points to make about our old executive producer, ex-executive producer, if you will?
Man, he was so good. He didn't even need to engage Strava's crime mode. He could just crime, and Strava was like, "Nah, I got you.
Oh, he had a lot of connections to the hamster underworld. I don't know how he did it. Never was caught.
Because normally when I do crime, I have to engage crime mode. I have to yell at my phone to be like, "Cyrus, engage crime mode."
Mm-hmm.
Bilo never had to do that.
No, it just knew. Like it would auto pause his crimes for him.
It was just so good. He was so powerful.
All right, Eric, we have a segment on this podcast.
Well, actually, on our
news.
news network, my good sir, on our news network.
That's right, and it's a little short, but we're gonna get into it. We got to get that local newsing.
Well, I was gonna say another just potential update if anyone didn't already figure it out. The news network is it's a whole process. We don't have an executive producer currently, so it's hard to get all the managerial things set up. So it's a bi-weekly release. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah, that's true. We are looking for an executive producer, so hit us up in the comments down there. If you want to be one.
So, Alex, I think it's time to go to our local news segment. Which is of course us discussing local news. So
that's right, Eric. In this week's local news, the Bangkok buns at the Thai restaurant near my house are actually delicious AF. They are so tasty. And if you treat the lady there right, she'll kick everybody else out in line and go directly to you and give you your order first based on a true story that happened earlier today.
Hmm.
Wow.
Okay.
I would like me some Bangkok buns, if you know what I mean.
Oh, you got to go steamed, not fried. Everybody knows that. It's important.
Ooh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
good to know. Weatherman, you have any local news going on?
Yeah, it's $1.50 tacos down at the taco shack on the side of the road every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday? How do they stay in business with deals like that?
Fun fact, they don't.
Oh my goodness.
What makes a Taco Shack taco taste so good, Jonah?
The questionable meat.
That's fair.
Would you say perhaps that when you get a $1.50 taco, you are being served street meat?
Oh, 100%. It's actually called street taco, and streets in quotation mark and spelled incorrectly. So
Because otherwise they'd be legal to have, they'd be liable if someone discovered that they didn't have 100% street in the taco.
exactly, yeah.
Right.
I think tonight actually I got a little bit of asphalt in my taco.
Mm.
So it's real street taco.
I mean, I was gonna say that's
Delish.
nice. Like, that's that crunch factor. Although
Yeah.
I imagine you have a corn tortilla, right?
Oh, obviously, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
those are the
good
best
to know.
tortillas.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm personally, it's not very authentic. And you can definitely tell that I'm a Caucasian in nature, but I like my hard shell with a soft shell underneath, so I get the best of
Oh.
both worlds.
Man, do you also have one of them taco holders?
No. Does Street Taco sell special taco holders?
You have to bring your own taco holder.
But
Interesting.
you go up to the Lemire residence up north, and we got them fancy ass taco holders that you put right onto the table. You nail it right down into the table, hold your taco, pristine taco holder.
Love to hear it.
Now, I don't want to come to blows over tacos, something I think everyone here at this news agency can get behind, but I don't see any reason to use a taco holder when God gave me 2 taco holders right here.
Ooh. You got them clampers.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a powerful phrasing.
The manos de Dio.
Yeah, it turns out that I'm dual taco injected.
What? Wow, that's you don't hear that every day.
It's a powerful engine. You gotta watch out for that.
Is it the Cuban tacos?
Oh yeah, no, dude. If I need to run fast, I eat those Cuban tacos.
Yeah, they make
Oh
you go
yeah,
real fast.
they give you all sorts of powerful gas.
Well, I was gonna say, for all our listeners at home, could you please explain what makes a Cuban taco special?
Yeah, so if you need normal tacos, right, those are pretty good, but they're really fancy and expensive. The Cuban taco will, it's a lot cheaper, okay?
Oh, we
And
like
it
that. We like
involves
that here at
tinkering with
Jidin.
taco ingredients in order to get you more power at the expense of your insides, perhaps taking more wear and tear.
It really cleans you up.
The Taco Bell theorem, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
My man, who believes in Frambly, he swears by the Cuban tacos.
Love to hear it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I think that's all the local news that's going on. We got tacos.
Oh yeah. No, we gotta do some in the field reporting next, Eric.
So yep, Alex, it's time to move on to our next segment, which of course is going out into the field with our lovely field correspondents. And I'm getting word right now that it's all right, I'll paint the scene for you here. It's high tide on the Delaware Bay, and Atlantic horseshoe crabs, Limulus polyphemus, are clamoring ashore to mate. Take us there.
Hello, yeah, this is Jake Waterworks down at the Delaware Bay, and I got crabs coming in like you wouldn't believe. It is currently, we are thick in whatever kind of crab mating season it is. Horseshoe crab mating season. I'm sorry, it's hard to tell because there's so many horseshoe shaped crab. There's so many horseshoe shaped ancient arthropods crawling onto the beach here, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the nice things about horseshoe crabs is that we as scientists actually use their blood to detect pathogens. You make them donate a little bit of blood like everybody should do. It helps keep the Red Cross going, and then we release them back into the ocean.
Well, that's interesting that you say that. I'm surprised that they're allowed to donate blood, especially to the Red Cross, because I've heard that the proportionality of male to female horseshoe crabs is very anti-male. So there's a lot of males just sort of off on the side, and I believe that they, uh perform sort of heterosexual acts to, at least get something going on while they have to watch all the other mates pair up.
Well, that's also happening because again, it's mating season, and you got to be a popular horseshoe crab. Now, to be a popular horseshoe crab, it's all about the size of the shell, not about how you vibrate it. Which is why we're throwing to Weatherman, who's also live on the scene, to tell us the in-depth, exquisite mating procedure between two hermit crabs. Weatherman.
So, let me tell you, it's a sight for sore eyes, man. Something you want some late night entertainment? Hell, even early morning entertainment. These crabs getting jiggy with it. It's something. Let me tell you. First of all, they come in with a little, and they go in a little bit 30 degrees to the left.
Well,
Oh.
Weatherman, just wanted to fill you in. The female horseshoe crabs, they are called Sallies, okay? And what are the male horseshoe crabs called?
Henrys.
All right, so you got your Sallies and your Henrys.
Old
Now
Henrys.
you can go back into that go back into that excruciating detail how the process works again.
Okay. So, the Sallies, right?
Yeah.
Being that there's more Sallies in the horseshoe crab population.
Oh, no. There's much more Henrys. The Henrys overpopulate the Sallies. It's just a veritable taco fest down there, if you will.
This is news to me.
Okay. So
you were previously reporting an abnormally large number of Sallies.
Okay, that's fair. I just want to let the listeners out there know that here at this podcast, it is our duty to not misgender any cephalopods. Those are octopus and stuff, but also the crab variety of the animals.
No, it turns out the horseshoe crab is actually much more ancient. They're arthropods, I believe. We're gonna get some confirmation. Keep going there, Eric.
We don't misgender them, and they're allowed to identify how they want, and we will use their proper pronouns going forward. But take it away, Weatherman. I heard we got a bunch of Sallies where you are now, but typically the Henrys are doing their thing.
The Henrys.
Hold on. We got a lot of Sallies. We got a lot of Henrys. I just got to interrupt here. They are in fact arthropods of the family Limidae. So
of course,
get back into Alex, that Sally on Henry.
Jake Waterworks is correct, and Sally's, and I've once went to dinner with the Limidae family. Wonderful, really gracious to be a part of that. But go on.
That's something. But either way, anyways, as I was saying, over here on the apparently more Sally side of the country, my experience, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the Sallies tend to get a little bit more aggressive. To be the dominant Sally on the beach. And they are a bit larger. Depends on how well they eat and, other things. But they do tend to be... So to assert their dominance, they gotta fight the other Sallies.
Sally off.
There's Sally on the beach. The biggest Sally on the beach. The biggest harem, if you will, of the Henrys. And the Henrys, they're just looking for some shell, man. They just want that good shell.
Oh, so is there any feature that a Henry really looks for in a Sally?
So you think that, but from my long-term observation, deep study, I've decided it comes down to tail size.
Ooh,
Got that long tail, You'll get chasing all those Henrys will be chasing after you.
All
But you
right,
gotta
so
be
there.
careful. You got some sneaky Henrys in there,
Mm.
and some of those sneaky Henrys, they're looking a little shifty. They do some extracurricular activities, if you could call it. They seem to be bonding more with Henrys than other Sallys. If you get
Yeah,
my
no,
idea.
that's fair. I believe I have a perfect view of the scene right here.
Yeah.
Jake Waterworks and Weatherman. Any final comments before we head back to the studio?
Yeah, we're gonna throw it back to exactly, Eric. I agree. We're gonna throw it back to the studio. All right, man. Yeah, it's crazy down here. I'm a Jake Waterworks because I'm constantly tearing up, really emotional. I'll see you guys back. Oh God, that Sally just broke that Henry's heart, man.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
sorry,
I
Jake
can't
Waterworks.
watch. I can't watch.
It's getting a little foamy on my end here too, so I'm gonna put my goulashes on and get out of here.
All right. That's what we love to hear. See you in like approximately 10 seconds, Weatherman. I don't know how you do it. You go from one shore to our studio, but it's impressive.
Cuban tacos.
Oh baby.
Yeah, he's ready for it, Eric. All right.
So Alex, I
yeah,
believe
we gotta-
the next segment that we are trying to do here is
we're bringing it back because everyone loves it.
It's our question corner.
It's the editorial section. It's the question corner.
So that's where our viewers will call in and really just leave us tweets, messages, whatever they want, and we'll try to let them know and keep them up to date with what's going on in the news.
Tweet at Nature Walks with Eric. We won't read them, but you can do it.
I don't think that's a Twitter, but that's
you can try.
Just
we
do it. News Network maybe. So Alex, can you read the boards for us? I believe we have one or two questions this week.
Oh, I don't. I was so busy trying to figure out where those horseshoe crabs were coming from and making sure we got that news that I don't have anything. But Weatherman, I think, actually scraped up a question. What does it say?
Yeah. Hello, Dewey Brothers. It's Joe here. Long-time listener, first-time question asker. How do I get over the trauma of a neighborly gas explosion? Me and my best friend James live across the street from some guys that we had a rivalry with. Blew up last week. We think it had to do something with honey moat and large amount of deer. Any advice would be appreciated. Joe.
So Eric, if you got all that, Joe is asking, basically, across the street there were some neighbors and they exploded, and they seem to really be going at each other, and mysterious people that have never written into the podcast, and so he just wanted to chime in, and he wants to know how this is going to affect his relationship with his BFF James.
That's fair. I'm obviously, so trauma can do two things. It can either bring people closer together or drive them further apart. Which is wow, I wonder what happened with that horrific explosion. I bet, you know what? I bet those two were listening to some sort of fake news podcast thing going on, and they were just getting terrible ideas, and that's what ultimately led to their downfall. I would know nothing of the sort because we are a refutable news station here, so we only give the utmost important stuff. And
we only report on the most news that we're telling. We're straight shooting over here.
So Joe and James, I think what they should do is find something that brings them together over this. So obviously there's probably a hole in the land depending on how big the explosion was, and hopefully they can clear up all the honey. I imagine there's a lot of venison around, and there's probably a lot of honey around too. They should get into like barbecuing or something, Alex.
Ooh, that's a great idea.
That venison's selling pretty high right now, too.
I bet you have a lot of venison meat there, and it's probably already soaked in honey. And if there's one thing I've learned about marinades, if you use honey, one, it's antibacterial, and two, it really just penetrates the meat and really makes it tender, which would be perfect for venison. So I think that they could start like a barbecue operation.
This might be fighting words, but I heard the best barbecue comes from a pit, and they clearly have one across the street.
Wow. That's genius.
Exactly.
They could definitely move into I'm just gonna say some random names because obviously I don't know these people, but they should move across the street into Seth and Steve's place and use the pit to make a barbecue pit out of it. They already have the venison, they already have the honey. Like, this is genius.
Sounds like we know where to go to have the grilling party.
Exactly. What sort of things should they offer at their barbecue joint? Can you help us out there?
Oh, well, obviously venison steak. Like, sounds like they got plenty of venison. But I'm also a big fan of venison stew.
Ooh.
Also, so you get a lot of venison. You need to use some of it up. So you mix it. You make a stew with venison broth, and you just add, honestly, ribbons of more venison in there. Just really smooths out the palate, gives it a well-rounded taste. You can't also forget about the venison kebabs, though.
Ooh. Those
Ooh,
are good.
I've heard venison kebabs actually come from like the Middle East and sort of like Greece and sort of Mediterranean, Eastern
wanna talk about
Mediterranean.
Spicy and weirdly fishy at the same time? Venison kebabs, man.
Ooh,
Can
that's
I
good.
dip my venison kebab in my venison stew? Is that like a combination that works together?
Weirdly enough, it is actually.
Well, see, I'm afraid that if one of them was gamey, so like obviously you only know how to cook the most best venison products, but I'd be worried if I dipped my venison kebab in my venison stew and say my venison stew was a little gamey, that would cause the game to reach into the kebab or vice versa, and I wouldn't want that happening personally.
Well, lucky for you, explosions make venison stew really soft and tender.
It's a sort of a natural tenderizer.
Yeah, a certain family group that I know really likes to solve a lot of their venison problems by just exploding it. So, goes both ways. State doesn't really like it so much, but let me tell you, some exploded, tenderized venison, top tier. That's actually the other thing on the menu that would be really good. It's just extra tenderized venison, double explosion venison.
Oh, so you actually re-exploded again?
Re-explode it, and let me tell you, it just basically turns to dust in your mouth. It's delicious.
It's actually triple exploded because the third explosion is the explosion of flavor in your mouth.
Yes,
Oh my
exactly.
goodness. So
Cool.
obviously Joe and James, like you
Yeah,
guys
you
gotta
guys
go
gotta-
over there. This is a multi-dollar deal right here. You can just go over, start a little venison business, and I think sooner or later everyone's gonna be coming in and wanting some of that sweet venison.
Make sure they get there early though, because they don't want to. They gotta watch out for the venison bandits.
That's right. This is
Ooh.
definitely a multi-dollar deal, and they got to get in on the ground floor. In this case, the bottom of the pit.
Yeah, then they better hurry.
Yeah, Weatherman, have you dealt with these venison bandits in the past?
Oh, sometimes they just come out of the corn out of nowhere, and they get their maracas, and there's so many of them.
Oh
But
God,
luckily-
I think those are Cubans, man, and they're making some tacos.
Oh, my mistake. Whew. Yeah, they came in force though, and let me tell you, it was some tough times. But we smoothed things over. Had a few cervezas, and things are good. We're on a
Nice.
teetering peace treaty right now.
So, to all our listeners out there, especially Joe and James, get in on that venison market. And hey, you got to watch out for the venison bandits. They will be coming. But if you get there first and sort of stake your claim, they will respect you as long as you keep them at bay with some cervezas.
They're surprisingly peace-loving people, even though they run at you aggressively a lot.
Speaking of cervezas, it is actually time for us to wrap this up and thank our sponsors here at Just Do It News Industry. And we are brought to you this bye-week with a generous donation from Homegrown Hops. If you need a cerveza, we got the hops for you, Homegrown Hops.
Homegrown hops, growing real fast and make cerveza good enough to keep the venison bandits at bay. Alex, it's actually funny that you mentioned sponsors because even this is our first week of syndication. We have another sponsor, which of course is Taco Holders. Come get your taco holders here today. If you don't have big, strong, built-in taco holders from God, the sweet beauties that God gave you, come get these. They're similar. They're just slightly bigger hands to put over your hands to really hold tacos better.
Wow, you got the deluxe edition taco holders. Normally, we just nail 2 nails on a table and put your taco in between.
Podcast is brought to you by Hot Sally on Henry action. Come on down to the Delaware River area in order to get some Hot Sally on Henry sightseeing action.
I don't think we're allowed to take money from them, but of course we are just starting out, so that's right. It is pay-per-view. Watch out. To our little listeners at home, honestly, just use your parents' credit card. It's fine.
They'll never know.
I gotta thank none other than Backyard Barbecue Pits. Come get your venison cooking today in a brand new backyard barbecue pit. You're gonna wanna, create a large explosion, and boom, you're making some of the best barbecues out there.
This podcast is brought to you. Sorry, this news organization is propped up by generous donations from. This is another pay-per-view product. Big Rose's Fall Time Fiesta, the spectacular of the year, where Sparkling Red takes on another pro wrestler, Light Pink and Frisky. That's right, they're gonna have a smackdown of flavors in your mouth with all the bagged rosé you can get. Come on down to the Fall Fiesta, now available in pay-per-view by Big Rosé.
That's right. This is the event of the fall that you don't want to miss. You think what? Oh, beer's so fancy. It has a whole Oktoberfest. Well, that's nothing on Fall Fight Night. That's right. Big Rosé's got 2 of the biggest competitors head to head, only on pay-per-view. You aren't going to want to miss this, brother.
Fight dirty, and then they clean it back up again, because Big Rosé is also a cleaning product. Oh yeah, brother. Well, Weatherman, do you have any podcasts, sponsors, news agency things, donations, shout outs before we head out?
I would unofficially like to thank the Venison Bandits for not stealing all the venison throughout this podcast. We have a very touch and go peace treaty right now, but it's right now it's a little bit more touch than go, so we're good. We're doing good.
It is the good touch, just to be clear.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. Don't want to scare any listeners. It's a good touch.
All right, right on. Well, thank you for having us.
It is Alex and Erica signing off, I believe, right?
Yeah, that's right. This is Alex and Eric signing off of Just Do It Brothers podcast, season 7, episode 1. I'm Alex.
I'm Eric.
This is the part where you say I'm Weatherman or Jonah or whatever.
Ah, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Sorry, I got distracted. I'm Weatherman.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
And for the love of God, man.
This is Just Do It News Network. Bum bum. Send.